I have to say I am surprised. I liked the new episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. I genuinely enjoyed it. I have one big complaint, which I'll get to in a minute, but basically this is a very condensed version of Michonne's travels and travails and misfortunes as she tries to find Rick. And one thing that I liked about this episode is that it shows that she tried many times to contact her children, but the walkie-talkies didn't connect. And that makes me happy on two levels. One, it shows that, she was still very much trying to be in communication with her people and just wasn't able to, which is, makes Michonne more sympathetic, because I've always been kind of pissed that she would just leave her kids behind. And two, the walkie-talkies didn't work. And that's wonderful. If this was Fear the Walking Dead, she would have been on the walkie-talkie magically at whatever distance. And, magic walkie-talkies are one of my biggest pet peeves in this show. So, anyways, I liked that. Some of the new characters that were introduced were great, but especially Nat, who's this little guy. Nat... sorry, I had to go put my dogs inside. They were barking. Of course, they start barking. They don't bark until I start making a video, and then they go crazy. But anyways, Nat was a little guy who a little person with very big personality. He's Matt Jeffers plays the role, and he's great. He's funny. He's extremely likable. There's not that many likable characters in the Walking Dead universe, and they tend to kill off the ones who are the most likable, which we'll get to in a second. But Nat, ends up being like her traveling companion. Everyone else gets killed by the CRM attack where they dump chlorine gas on them for no reason, just because the CRM are a bunch of big dickwads, apparently. But Nat and Michonne survive, and they continue on their journey. And he's just got a lot of great lines. He's not just funny. He has comic relief, but he also has a backstory about his dad left because he didn't want to have a little kid, but his stepdad, whose name is Danger, it's kind of a weird name, but nickname is Danger. He kind of came in and saved his life in a way. He because he was this, he was small and he was bullied. He started to He became a pyromaniac. He had all these. His instinct was to destroy things, and his stepdad came in and kind of just like set him on a better path by getting help with stuff and help build. It's a good backstory, is my point. Yeah, just kind of turned. It's a great backstory, better backstory than most characters in these shows get, and this is a better character than we audience members usually get. I would say that Isabel from Daryl Dixon is the last really great character that's been introduced to the show. She actually survives the whole season of Daryl Dixon and ends up being kind of a complicated character who you're pretty sympathetic with at first, but who gets a little manipulative towards the end. So I liked that, though. I liked that there was some gray around her character. But Nat does not have the fortune of surviving even one episode of The Ones Who Lived. He is not one of the ones who lived. And that is a damn shame. That actually kind of upsets me. That it's for being an episode where he really carried it in a lot of ways. No, Danae Guerrero playing Michonne did a wonderful job also. I'll get to her. But really, he's such a great new character. Can't we just keep him around? I mean, I often complained that we had too many characters and not enough of them were killed off in the main show. And I still believe that. It was a bloated cast. And too many characters had too much plot armor. And really, I thought we'd lose a few in the end, but we only lost, spoiler, Rosita. And Rosita, that was a really great death scene. I was actually pretty emotional about it. She is one of my favorite characters, and of course they killed her off. But Nat, Nat is killed by the CRM. He's the one that fires the rockets on against the helicopter that Rick is in, and the first one's a dud. That's the one that hits Okafor, yeah. Also a good character, killed off in one episode. Then his next rocket, he got this little makeshift rocket arm thing, and it's silly, it's goofy, whatever. But I'm gonna let it slide because whatever. I don't care. If you tell me a good story, you can get away with these little things that are kind of implausible. I don't care that much that the rocket machine, is not likely to actually work that way. It's silly, but I don't care because it's a fun scene. The helicopter crashes, and then we see, from Michonne's perspective now, her killing these CRM dudes, and then seeing Rick, and they meet, and it's this very emotional moment. And I will say, I got a little emotional there too. That was a very, I think that's the first time I've really seen like hardcore romantic chemistry between those two, and it felt very real. And I've said countless times that I don't see it. The chemistry hasn't been there, and I still don't think they did a very good job in the beginning with Rick and Michonne. They just sort of like, hey, they're a couple now. They didn't like lead up to it in ways that would have maybe helped us as viewers. But I really felt it here. That was good. It was a good moment, a good scene. They both did a great job, both actors. Andrew Lincoln, Tanega Guerrera. She's really, really knocked it out. This was one of her best episodes that she's ever been in, I think. Her scene earlier with Nat, thinking that, Rick must be dead and that there's no hope and yada, 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 all that stuff. She just really breaks down, and he gives her a hug, and it's great. But both parts, both Nat and her, are just so great in that scene. Him telling her that, she can go back to her kids and still have hope that he's alive. She can do both things. And it's like, wow, this is actually well-written dialogue that feels natural. Like, this is what I've been asking for from The Walking Dead. Is it perfect? No, but it's good. That was a quality episode. So one of the best episodes. I mean, I said this about one episode in Daryl Dixon, was one of the best episodes I'd seen in this franchise in a long time. And this one is also just a quality episode. Right after their reunion, he is like, they're coming. You need to, pretend to be weak. Don't say you know me. We have to get rid of anything that indicates that you know me. Any journals, get rid of that stuff. You have to, you can't call them walkers because that's what I call them. All this stuff. You have to pretend or they will kill you. So she does, and she gets away with it. But as she's looks out across the CRM military compound, and she looks down at the lighter that Nat had, Rick gave to her, and it says the word danger on it. And at that very moment, we see Jadis with her terrible, terrible haircut, and she's in Rick's apartment, and she's like, she knows who Michonne is, and she basically says if you try to escape, that she'll have to kill everybody he loves, and everybody back in Alexandria, basically everybody. And she says even a few that she likes very much. So Jadis is now positioned as kind of like maybe not the big bad, but the primary antagonist of this particular season, probably. I know that like Terry O'Quinn's character, the General Beale or whatever, he's the big bad. He's the leader, right? But Jadis is the imminent threat. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I was actually super impressed. I'm surprised that I was as impressed as I was, and happily so. I'm always happy to say when a show that I've been very, very harsh to delivers on what I've been asking for it to deliver on. So again, I could probably nitpick things here or there, but I'm not going to, because my only real major complaint is that they killed off a character with a lot of potential to be, I wish they just sent him back to Alexandria or something, just so maybe we could see him down the road, because he's great. I like him a lot more than a lot of the characters in this show that are still alive. So let me know what you thought. But for the first time in a while, I'm pretty optimistic. It's a well-made show. Cinematography's great. The music's great. The actors are bringing their A game. And as long as Gimple's not writing the scripts, it actually feels like real people having real conversations and personalities. More like this, please. Thank you, AMC. And thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.